think it's time we talk about Derby County. Because I did not expect a 3-0 thrashing of Bristol City. Bristol, they haven't had an outrageous start to the season, but I think when you look at Derby's performance against Watford, it wasn't that inspiring. They were leading the game, but coming into this game, I don't think a lot of people back Derby. They have a really strong home record, in all fairness to them, but I was not expecting a 3-0 win at all, and they played really, really well. All 3 of their goals were taken really, really well. I think it's Kenzo Goodman. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he looked really sharp, and his strike was excellent, really, from outside the box. He had a couple of chances that game, and he was attacking. He was really a key part in their creativity. I thought overall, as a side, the way they attacked, they got forward, was actually quite exciting, and that was quite different from the derby that we saw against Watford, where they were just trying to cross the ball into the box, and instead they were actually, passing between triangles. They were linking up play really nicely. Caden Jackson, 3rd goal of the season. He's a striker that doesn't really score that many goals across an entire season, but 3rd goal, 2 assists already. His strike was very, very nice as well. Cuts in, top right corner as well. Excellent finish. And David Ozone, I spoke about him earlier with the player, my Championship Player of the Week. His goal was excellent as well. Dribbles through the entire Bristol midfield, slots in his winger, and is there for the rebound to slot it home. And Derby, whilst I think a lot of people are writing them off, I wrote them off last weekend when we did the Championship teams we think are most likely to go down. Kind of look like a bit of an idiot now, but I'm fine. Call me an idiot. Derby were really, really good.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about it is on a possession side with Derby, they were they're at home and then they're not dominating possession, only 35% for them. But that is just the way that they're going to play this season. And at the end of the day, they still created more chances. They still had more shots in the opposition, which shows that actually this suits them and that's how they play. And like you mentioned as well, the home form. If you've got home form like Derby, you're in no danger really. And they haven't conceded at home yet, have they?
They didn't in their last. I don't think so.
No, so no goals conceded at home. Won all your games at home. I mean, then again, they have lost all their away games. So it's exactly 50-50. Yeah. But you can't really argue with it because that's how football's supposed to be. Win at home, lose away. You're not going to go down. And as much as Derby want to have that ambition, obviously they were in a playoff final within the last 10 years. They need to the Championship's a terrifying league to come into. You need to really settle down and, if they finish mid-table, which, if they win up, if they keep the form the way it's going, do well in your home, do bad away, and they can finish, I don't know, say somewhere like 12th, they should be happy with that, and then they can push on in a year and maybe get those high spaces.
I think they'd be delighted if they could stay in the division. I think it's probably the best performance in the Paul Warne as Derby manager. And I think that what's really key to mention about them is the recruitment again. All 3 goal scorers are new signings. Yates gets an assist, he's a new signing as well. And they perhaps did look a little bit short of quality coming into the division, but they've added really well. And it's still going to be a tough season for them, I've got no doubt about that. But it's the first time we really looked at their performance and thought, well, they're actually quite a good side. And if they can continue in that vein, then a mid-table finish isn't outside their realms of possibility. I think, given the pre-season expectations, I think Derby fans would snap your hands off for that. Yeah,
I mean, Derby are now 10th in the league. Not bad at all after 4 games.
I mean, it is 4 games. The league table does lie until about 10 weeks. Until 10 weeks, I'd argue. But they're deservedly there. I mean, 2 wins out of your opening 4. You win half your games, you're safe.
It's 9 wins on the bounce now in all competitions for Derby at home. Not bad at all. If they can turn that into a bit of a fortress going forward this season, then fair play to them. They're level on the points with Sheffield United, Oxford United, Stoke got more points than QPR and Norwich. So hats off to Derby County. Where do you think they're going to finish, Tom?
Something that'd be tough. I think having to go down pre-season. I think based off the home form, maybe they'll be fine. I still doubt whether under Paul Warne they can sustain these performances, but. If the home form is strong, which they've got a good support, I think that's a big part of it. And if they can perform at home, then they'll be fine. But I still think it'll be close. But if you ask again in a couple of weeks' time and they've picked up another couple of home wins, then maybe we start thinking about a mid-table for them.
If you're watching this clip from Extra Time, remember, by filling out the Jotform link in the description before Friday of the week that the episode has gone out, which was on Monday, you can be in with a chance of winning an EFL shirt of your choice and 2 free matchday tickets to an EFL game of your choice. All you have to do, remember, fill out that Jotform in the description, enter your name, date of birth, email address. You have to be over 18 for this competition, and answer our EFL-based trivia question correctly. I'm gonna give you the advantage. I'll leave myself behind. Who's your Championship Player of the Week?
I don't think you've gone for him, but I've gone for Derby County's goalkeeper.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Vidal Zetterstrom.
All right.
Big Swedish goalkeeper. One of his first appearances for the club since moving over from Djurgården. Derby won quite comfortably, and I'm sure we're going to move on to them at some point. But he did make 5 saves in that game, kept a clean sheet. I think he'd be a big part of if Derby have success this season. I think Zetterström will be part of it because he's absolutely massive. He's a very commanding presence. He's a good shot stopper, as evidenced by the fact he made 5 saves. And I just think that a lot of teams in this league, there's a couple of Swedish goalkeepers in this league now, and I think a lot of teams could benefit from having a goalkeeper of his quality because it gives your team a lot of confidence. I think if you're a back four, having him behind you, and he's like I say, such a commanding presence. So Zetterström is my player of the week for the Championship.
After Derby's first couple of performances, a lot of people, and including myself, wrote Derby County off this season. But yeah, no, if they are going to stay in this division, and that was a fantastic performance overall against Bristol, if they're going to stay in this division, they certainly need a goalkeeper like that. I thought at one point when you said a lot of sides in the division can certainly do with a goalkeeper like that, I thought you were going to say a lot of sides could do with a Swedish goalkeeper.
But
they could do.
Too, like the
they
Swedish
could do, I
recruitment.
think. Yeah, they've got a lot of goalkeepers. Yeah.
Why not go?
Big market for it, I think, at the minute.
Go for the Swedish players. Why not? I'm going for David Ozo. Now, before I carry on with this, am I pronouncing David Ozo correctly? I think I
feel
am.
like it.
I think I am. He's on loan.
Ozo, yeah.
He's on loan from Crystal Palace at Derby County. He won the man of the match according to the player ratings on the weekend, and yeah, he had a very strong game. He scored himself as well after a really tidy move where he wins the ball back, dribbles past the player, then actually dribbles quite far up the pitch, carries it really far, and plays it out wide to eventually. The out wide player shoots. David Ojo is there on the edge of the box to match it up with a finish and get another goal for Derby. He was just really good as well. I saw a comment on X from, I assume, a Derby fan, David Cooper, saying David Ozo is awful. If Palace had any sense, they'd sell him to us now. And I think there was a slight bit of sarcasm there, just a little bit, because he was really great. 8.5 match rating on SofaScore, and it's not all about the stats per se. It's also about the look of the player and how he's fitting into that team, and he is quite clearly fitting into the team really well. And much like their keeper, I think having a player like that in midfield, when because there was a bit of doubt about Derby at the start of this season with relegation, whether they'd survive in this division or not, and at times their play style hasn't been that convincing this season, but it certainly was against Bristol. And if you're going to have a player like that in the middle of the park, then they've got a lot of potential this season. I also saw, I think it was Adam Wharton and Eze interacting with Ozo's, like giving him praise after that game as well. So he's clearly liked at Crystal Palace, a player with a lot of potential, and he's my Championship Player of the Week. So Isaac, you went with Mahinder, Tom, you went with Zetterström, and I went with David Ozo.
Yeah, just some stats to back you up with Ozo. I know this is not all about stats, but he completed the most dribbles in the game, most tackles in the game. He's the most foul player in the game, and he won the most duels in the game as well. So he was absolutely everywhere. And I think that, I think a lot of people had doubts about Derby, including myself. But their recruitment, we mentioned 2 new signings there, and their recruitment's been really strong. So I think that could be the difference of why they've adapted better than people might have thought.
He's not the kind of player you'd expect to have the most dribbles in the game. I mean, he's a tall guy, he's got he's a very physical player. But it's worth noting that technically this guy is top, very, very good as well.
I don't know about you, but I love an EFL shirt, and I've found the perfect place to pick up beauties like this. The Football League store has thousands of beautiful kits just like these for past and present EFL teams. The season's fast approaching, so get yours before it's too late. Click the link in the description to head to the Football League store.